Hello students, welcome to today's class. Today we discuss about heat and temperature. So what is heat? So heat is one of the forms of energy. All the substances are made up of molecules. So molecules, due to the position, molecules possess potential energy, and due to the motion, molecules possess kinetic energy, and heat is the sum total of potential energy and kinetic energy of all the molecules present in a substance. So when the molecular motion increases, kinetic energy also increases, and the heat also increases, because heat is the sum total of potential energy and kinetic energy of all the molecules present in a substance. When we touch a hot plate, we touch a hot plate with our hand, so we feel the object as hot. The reason is that the heat comes from that plate to our body. When heat comes from an object to our body, we feel the object as hot. And when we touch an ice cube, we feel the ice cube as cold, because heat goes from our body to the ice cube. So when our body loses heat, we feel the object as cold, and when our body receives heat or absorbs heat, that time we feel the object as hot. So heat is the sum total of potential energy and kinetic energy of all the molecules present in a substance. So when the average kinetic energy of all the molecules increases, the heat also increases. And what determines the flow of heat? The temperature. Temperature determines the direction of flow of heat. So temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. So suppose that there are two bodies. One body is at a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius, and another body is at a temperature of 10 degrees Celsius. And when these two bodies are kept in contact with each other, heat flows from a body which is at a higher temperature, that is at 40 degrees Celsius, to the body which is at a low temperature. So heat always flows from a body which is at a higher temperature to the body which is at a low temperature. And this flow of heat continues till the temperature of both the bodies become equal. So temperature is the parameter which determines the direction of flow of heat. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin, and the other common units of temperature are Celsius and Fahrenheit. If you have to convert Celsius into Kelvin, you have to add 273. This is the formula to convert Celsius to Kelvin. T degree Celsius, that will be T plus 273 Kelvin. So 10 degrees Celsius will be equal to 10 plus 273, which is equal to 283 Kelvin. This way we can convert Celsius into Kelvin. And for converting Celsius into Fahrenheit, there is a formula That is C upon 5 is equal to F minus 32 upon 9. Suppose that you have to convert 10 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit. You want to convert 10 degrees Celsius into Fahrenheit, then where C is written, there you have to write 10. 10 upon 5 is equal to F minus 32 upon 9. Then solve further, then you will get the corresponding Fahrenheit temperature. So this way you can convert Celsius into Fahrenheit. C upon 5 is equal to F minus 32 upon 9. And if you have to convert Fahrenheit into Celsius, you use this formula. Suppose that you have to convert 52 Fahrenheit into Celsius. Then where F is written, there you substitute 52. Then you, on further calculation, you can calculate the corresponding Celsius temperature. This way, you can convert Celsius into Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit into Celsius, and Celsius into Kelvin. So, comparison between heat and temperature. Heat is a form of energy, which is the sum total of potential energy and kinetic energy of all the molecules present in a substance. Then temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness. The SI unit of heat is Joule, and SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. The amount of heat contained by a body depends on mass, temperature, and the material. So these are the factors determining the amount of heat contained by a body. And the temperature, it depends upon the average kinetic energy of all the molecules present in a substance. Then this heat is measured by the applying calorimetry, and temperature is measured by using a thermometer. It is measured by applying the principle of calorimetry, and temperature is measured by using thermometer. These are the some of the differences between heat and temperature. The next topic is thermal expansion. Thermal expansion means the expansion of a substance due to heat. Thermal means heat. So the expansion of a substance due to heat is called thermal expansion. All the substances on heating expand, and on cooling they contract. Substances, whether it is solid, liquid or gas, all the substances expand on heating and contract on cooling. So there are some exceptions. So these are the exceptions. Water from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Silver iodide from 80 degrees Celsius to 141 degrees Celsius. Silica below minus 80 degrees Celsius. In this temperature range, these substances will show an opposite behavior. That means on heating they will contract, and on cooling they will expand. That behavior is called anomalous behavior. Anomalous behavior. These substances, water, silver iodide and silica, in this temperature range show anomalous behavior. And other substances or other substances, they will expand on heating and contract on cooling. So these are the exceptions. And in the case of some substances, its expansion comes only in its length. The expansion of a substance in its length on heating is called linear expansion. Linear expansion. The linear expansion means the expansion of a substance in its length on heating. That is called linear expansion. For the example, in the case of a thin metallic wire, a thin metallic wire, when it is heated, its expansion comes only in its length. Other dimensions are negligible. So the expansion of a substance in its length is called linear expansion. Then the next one is suppose that we take a metal plate, a metallic plate or a metallic sheet. Then in the case of a metallic sheet, when a metallic sheet is heated, then its expansion will come in its length and breadth, means its area. The expansion comes in its area. The expansion of a substance in its area due to heat is called superficial expansion. Superficial expansion means the expansion of a substance in its area on heating is called superficial expansion. And if we take a cuboid, which is made up of a metal, and when it is heated, its length, breadth and height will increase. So means its volume will increase. The expansion of a substance in its volume, that is called cubical expansion. Cubical. So these are the three kinds of thermal expansion: linear, superficial and cubical expansion. The next one topic is anomalous expansion of water. So water, as we have seen that all the substances expand on heating and contract on cooling, but water from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, water when it is heated from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius on heating, it will contract, and water on cooling from 4 to 0 degrees Celsius, on cooling from 4 to 0 degrees Celsius, it will expand. So this behavior is called anomalous behavior and anomalous expansion of water. So we will see some graphs which is showing the anomalous behavior of water. So this is a temperature volume graph of graph showing the anomalous behavior of water. In this, temperature is taken along the x-axis and volume of 1 gram of water in centimeter cube is taken along the y-axis. So temperature is along the x-axis and the volume is along the y-axis. So you can see this graph. So on heating from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. So on heating from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, what is happening? Its volume is decreasing. On heating from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, volume is decreasing. And this volume becomes minimum. Volume becomes minimum at 4 degrees Celsius. You can see this graph. And on further heating, after 4 degrees Celsius, on further heating, volume increases. So this is the anomalous nature of water. This is the density temperature graph of water. So temperature is taken along the x-axis and density of water in gram per centimeter cube is taken along y-axis. So you can see from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, on heating from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, the density increases. And at 4 degrees Celsius, the density is maximum. Water has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius. The density of water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1 gram per centimeter cube. Then on further heating, the density decreases. The water has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius. So this is the anomalous behavior of water. Next topic is demonstration of anomalous expansion of water by using Hobbs apparatus. So Hobbs apparatus consists of a metallic cylinder. So you can see it, a metallic cylinder having two holes, one hole at the top and one hole at the bottom. The thermometers are inserted in the hole. The thermometer which is inserted at the top, that is T1, and the thermometer which is inserted at the bottom is T2. And at the center of the metallic cylinder, is surrounded by a trough, and this is a trough. The center of the cylindrical vessel is surrounded by a trough, and in this trough a freezing mixture is taken. Freezing mixture is a mixture of salt and ice. That is a freezing mixture. And inside this metallic cylinder, water is taken. Water is taken in the metallic cylinder. So this is the setup of the Hobbs apparatus. Then in the beginning, when we start the experiment, both the thermometers T1 and T2 shows the same reading. And what changes are happening? So first, this one, the freezing mixture, it starts melting. Freezing mixture means it is a mixture of salt and ice. It starts melting by absorbing heat from the water in the metallic cylinder. So water in the so this one freezing mixture is kept at the center of the metallic cylinder. So water near the freezing mixture, that will get cooled. Water near the freezing mixture, that will get cooled. When it gets cooled, the water will become heavier at the center. The water at the center of the metallic cylinder, that gets cooled, and this cool water is heavier. Then this heavier water that goes downward. As a result, the thermometer reading of the bottom one thermometer, that is T2, the reading of thermometer T2, that will start decreasing. And it continues up to 4 degrees Celsius. This thermometer T2's reading start decreasing. When the temperature of T2, thermometer 2, becomes 4 degrees Celsius, then anomalous behavior will start. So when the temperature becomes 4 degrees Celsius, water has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius. After 4 degrees Celsius on further cooling, so water will become lighter. So this lighter water rises. So this lighter water rises. As a result, this thermometer reading T1 reading starts decreasing, and thermometer 1's reading decreases continuously up to 0 degrees Celsius. So this is the demonstration of Hobbs experiment. Once again, in summary, you listen. Hobbs apparatus consists of a metallic cylinder provided with two holes, one hole at the top, one hole at the bottom. Two thermometers are inserted in this hole. The thermometer which is at the top is taken as T1, thermometer at the bottom is taken as T2, and water is put in the metallic cylinder. Ordinary water is put in the metallic cylinder. The center of the metallic cylinder is surrounded by a trough, and inside the trough freezing mixture is taken. First, this freezing mixture starts melting by absorbing heat from the surrounding water. So since the water at the center of the metallic cylinder gets cooled, so that water will become heavier, and this heavier water goes downward. As a result, thermometer T2's thermometer which is kept at the bottom, that reading starts decreasing, and it goes up to 4 degrees Celsius. When the temperature becomes 4 degrees Celsius, then that water starts becoming lighter. This lighter water rises. As a result, the thermometer 1's reading starts decreasing. and this will decrease continuously up to 0 degrees Celsius. So this is the experimental demonstration of anomalous behavior of water by using Probst apparatus. Now we will see few consequences of anomalous behavior of water. The anomalous expansion of water helps in preserving aquatic life during a very cold weather. In cold weather, when the atmospheric temperature starts falling below 0 degrees Celsius, water at the surface of pond, initially at temperature above 4 degrees Celsius, begins to radiate heat to the atmosphere. So the temperature of water near the surface starts falling. When temperature of water at the surface falls below 4 degrees Celsius, water contracts and its density increases, and therefore it sinks to the bottom. This continues till the temperature of entire water reaches to 4 degrees Celsius. Now further cooling of top layers below 4 degrees Celsius results in expansion of water, and so its density decreases. As a result, water does not sink further, but it remains on the surface. When the temperature of atmosphere falls below 0 degrees Celsius, water on the surface loses further heat to the atmosphere and gradually freezes into ice. So it means that at the top the ice will be formed, and below that ice layer there is a water. So due to this, the aquatic life is possible even if the atmospheric temperature comes below 0 degrees Celsius. Only at the top ice will be formed. Below that ice layer there is water. So due to this, marine life is possible. Anomalous expansion of water is also responsible for bursting of water pipes in cold weather. So in winter season, when there is water in the water pipes, So and in winter, when the atmospheric temperature comes below 0 degrees Celsius, so what will happen? The water in the water pipes will change into ice. Water in the water pipe, that will change into ice. When the water in the water pipe changes into ice due to anomalous expansion, the volume of water increases. When the pressure on the pressure from inside the water pipe, due to that increase in pressure from inside the water pipe, the pipes can burst. So this is the reason for bursting of water pipes in cold weather. So today we have seen the difference between heat and temperature and anomalous behavior of water, and some of the consequences of anomalous behavior of water. In the next class we will discuss another topic.